So this right here is my new to me Audi RS7, a 2016 Audi RS7. I decided to finally go ahead and buy my dream daily. The reason why this is a dream daily is that it can be driven daily. I mean, that's kind of what a daily is, right? I'm like smiling just talking about this car. I've had it for about a week now. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should, you probably already see some pictures as well as some videos of the startup and stuff like that, and you'll see a lot in this video. I just wanted to show it to you guys. I'm kind of a huge car guy, and this has been a car that I've been saving for over 7 years in order to get. And I was looking at the Tesla P100D a little bit, but there's just something about the noise of this car that had me fall in love. Obviously with a Tesla, you don't get noise like that. You just don't. You don't get the burbles, you don't get the downshifts, you don't get anything of that nature. Of course, you have some crazy speed, but this does ultimately beat out the Tesla towards like the, you know, farther down on the quarter mile. Probably not off the brake, but the car is fast as hell. 560 horsepower, all-wheel drive. And from what I've been told, Audi lies. They lie a lot about their horsepower. Not sure why they do, but they do. So this car is probably much faster than that. I'd like to dyno it just to see if that's true and if it is actually over 560 horsepower. It's an 8-speed automatic. It does have paddle shifters if you want to switch to that. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a dual clutch. I've been hearing that the newer ones are going to have a dual clutch. The old Audi dual clutch, at least the one they had in 2016, would actually break the transmission from the torque because there's so much torque in this car. A couple other reasons why I bought it. Trunk space. You can fit at least 6 dead bodies back there. It's perfect. I can actually put down the seats and I can put in a mattress and lay and sleep in the back of my car. There's so much room. It's pretty much a glorified speed demon dadmobile is kind of what I like to call it. The color is pearlescent Daytona gray, which is kind of towards the color I was looking for. Obviously I was looking for like a Nardo, but at the end of the day, when I walked around this car, there's no ugly angles at all. It is just a beautifully built car. Every little piece of it flows perfectly. The wing comes up in the back if you want it to, which just adds a little bit more sportiness to it. And ultimately, I love it so far. Now that you've seen the startup, some really high revving, let's bring you inside the car so you can see a little bit on the inside as to another huge reason why I bought this car. Welcome to the inside. Pardon me if I start sweating, but this is the inside of the car. Here I am at the steering wheel. This car is wonderful from the inside. I moved up from a 2015 WRX, and obviously interior in here is a hell of a lot better. Obviously, there's real carbon fiber in this car. It does have a carbon package, which is something actually my previous car had, but it was fake carbon fiber. It's just kind of for the looks of it. But this car is clean, it's seamless. There's settings and buttons that can set the seats in the correct spot, and depending on who's driving the car. If you have a wifey that needs to whip it over to the grocery store, she can push the button and she can change it to that. For me, I just have 2 buttons, one in which kind of puts me in like a lean back comfort mode, and one of them that's more kind of alert, up stanced, and ready to go. So this car also does have a lot of different systems in it. This car specifically has a $8,500 option for the speakers, and for me, I am really into music. I love listening to music. I probably listen to music almost 12 hours a day. I'm not even exaggerating. And having a speaker system that does this, the tweeters pop out of the dash, and there's tons of different bass, treble, and tweeter settings that you can also program to the car. That's definitely my favorite thing thus far. And then my next favorite thing also has to be the customizableness of the car, I guess is the best way. When you put up this center console here, you can actually set options for the car. There's a dynamic mode, an individual mode, and a comfort mode. In the individual mode, you can just set it to however you specifically want to drive the car. And in the dynamic mode, it actually opens up valves in the exhaust to make it a hell of a lot louder. So if you're someone that wants to drive around with a stiffened suspension, really loud car, and be able to go 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, you can do that. You just push a button. But if you also just want to glide down your brand new street, bump some music and relax, you can just turn on comfort mode and all of a sudden the car drives like a dream. That's another thing with Tesla. From what I've heard, their speaker systems aren't really up to par with obviously Bang & Olufsen, which is what's in this car. Really the only appealing thing that Tesla beat in this was the 0 to 60 time. Past that, this car is nicer interior wise. It has the sound, which is exactly what I was looking for. It's got the speaker system that is incredible, and that's why I ultimately chose this over the Tesla, which was my second option. So, not really much to talk about otherwise in the car. You can obviously go watch people that know a lot more about the ins and outs and specifics of the engine and the trunk and everything else. A lot of random buttons that do certain things in this car that I'm still learning. I've had it for about a week. I've driven 752 miles, the speedometer, the odometer says right now. And I'm looking forward to getting even more stuff out of this, some longer drives. And if that's something you guys want to see, I am going to be posting that over on my second channel, which is my personality channel, where I run a podcast and a couple of other just kind of like personal videos for you guys. So if that's something you're interested in, that'll be down below. My next car video is going to be planned for Lime Rock in September. It's going to be a while, obviously, until that comes around, but it's one of the biggest car shows in North America, and there's tons of really expensive cars. The 918 Spider, the Porsche, a lot of like one-for-one cars that were in like the Great Gatsby and crazy stuff like this, as well as cars that race as well. And they also do race in front of you one of the days during that week. McLaren P1s and just crazy Lamborghini Huracans racing around Lime Rock in Connecticut. If you're something that you're interested in and you do live in the Northeast, I would extremely recommend going to that. And if you do, come say hi to me. I'd like to include you in a video if that's possible, or if you want to, or if you don't, just say hello. But really, I'm so excited to have this as my dream daily. My dream car to ever have is a 458, but that's gonna be, we're set back from this car, so I think we got another 7 years until we go for a 458. Other than that, I appreciate all the support on the channel that allowed me to make a purchase like this. In no way, shape, or form is this a way in which I'm bragging. I just like to show you guys cool things. I bought a cool thing, I'm showing you the cool thing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be sure to give you some car videos on the other channel. I would also go ahead and go follow on my Instagram, where I'll be posting pictures of the car, flybys of the car, a lot of different stuff like that as well. If you're a car guy or just interested in me in general, go check out that Instagram. Thanks for swinging by the video, I appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.